Shalom, my dear friends. We're getting ready for the holiday of Shavuot. It's a special holiday, not very known, not very popular, but it's the holiday, the most important holiday of the year, where God gave the Jews the Torah. There's an interesting analysis and comparison of the giving of the Torah to marriage. It was a marriage of God and the Jewish people. And it was very intense. The Talmud tells us that God picked up the Mount Sinai and picked it up over the Jewish people and said, hey guys, either you accept or I drop. It sounds like a shotgun wedding. But the Alter Rebbe in his writings explains that this mountain on top was like a chuppah, like a wedding canopy, giving such amazing love to the Jewish people. And we believe very strongly that it's not just a museum. The holiday is not just a museum where we're remembering what happened 3,330 some years ago, but it's happening again. It's happening again. The marriage is happening again every year. And we get prepared for it. We know there's the wonderful mitzvah of counting of the Omer. We count for 49 days until we reach the 50th day, the holiday when God gave us the Torah. The reason we count for 49 days, it's brought down from the Ran. The Ran says because Jews were told when they left Egypt that in 49 days they will leave. They will merit to get to the Mount Sinai and receive the Torah from the Almighty. So they counted every day with great anticipation. Counting the Torah is a way to get ready to receive the Torah. It's also brought down in the Holy Zohar that the counting of the Omer is like a lady counts the 7 days as she gets ready for marriage. So we have 7 weeks to prepare ourselves. Like we say in the prayer after the counting of the Omer, you told us to count the Omer in order to refine ourselves and get ready to receive the Holy Torah. So it's a real anticipation, it's a real preparation, and an amazing marriage, an amazing commitment. It's said that when God gave us the Torah, the entire Jewish nation converted. We know by a convert, we say, Ger shenizgayer kekoton shenoilad domi, that a convert is like a new person. The person that went into the mikveh and comes out, it's a new person. So on Shavuot, on this special holiday, we renew our vows, like somebody said. It's a new wedding. But we renew it not only just same old, but we renew it with a new vigor. So much so that we are different people than before. We are not the same. We're not complacent. We have a stronger commitment. And this commitment and this devotion enables our hearts and mind to be the proper receptacles to receive God's Torah, which is God's wisdom. In the Pirkei Avot, which we also study, as a preparation to refine ourselves for this amazing commitment to God, we read, last week we read a statement of Ben Bagbag. In the 5th chapter, Mishnah 21, Ben Bagbag says, learn the Torah again and again, grow old, don't stop learning it. There's nothing better than learning Torah. It's brought down in the commentaries that Ben Bagbag was a convert. Bagbag Ben Gir is an acronym for Ben Gir and Ben Giyoris. Why would Ben Bagbag say this statement, and why is it important to know that he was a convert? So it's explained because there's two ways to learn Torah. There's one way to learn Torah just to know what to do, to know what's the halacha, what to do. It's a book of rules. Then there's another way of learning Torah, just to connect to God. And even though we don't practice it anymore, we don't have a temple, we learn the Torah because we love God so much. This is a much higher level, a much deeper level of connection to God through learning Torah. So Ben Bagbag says that up until now, I used to learn Torah to know how to live in many cases. But this deep connection, I didn't have. And I got it now, to be able to learn the Torah just to connect to God Almighty. This is the ultimate. We find in the time of Purim, when they were persecuting, they wanted to kill all Jews, men, women, and children in one day. So the great leader of the Jewish people at that time of history, Mordechai HaTzadik, was learning Torah with 22,000 Jewish children. And he saw Haman coming, and he told the kids, run away, your life is in danger. And they told Mordechai, we are staying with you for life or death. We are not leaving. So it's brought down in the Medrash, what was Mordechai teaching these kids? He was teaching them the laws of Kmitza. Kmitza is the laws of flour offering to God. When you brought flour to God, you put your hand in the flour and you opened up the last finger. And what remained in the 3 fingers, you burned on the altar. And the rest you made into beautiful matzahs or chalas, and you ate it in the temple. So he was teaching them how to do kmitza. Kmitza has nothing to do with today's day and age. We don't have a temple, unfortunately. But these kids felt a deep connection to God. And they said, Mordechai, we're not leaving you. And their commitment and their dedication to God, to learn Torah just to connect to God Almighty, this is what saved the Jewish people. This is what brought them to salvation. There's nothing greater in the world than learning Torah. I remember hearing from the Rebbe, our dear Rebbe, in 1985. There's a Jew sitting in the synagogue, and he's learning a passage of the Bible, and he thinks to himself, you know, I'm old-fashioned, I'm fanatic. I'm from the old city, I'm from a previous generation. Today there's so much going on in America. There's Wall Street, there's the White House, there's sophistication, politics. I'm learning a passage of Torah. Little does he know, said the Rebbe, that the whole Wall Street and the whole White House was created, he should study. So this is the commitment which happens on Shavuot, the marriage, the conversion, to have a deeper commitment to God, a deeper devotion, and that allows us to understand Torah. There's a beautiful prayer that we say on the end of davening. After we finish the Amidah, we tell God, God, guard my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking deceitfully. Then we say, let my soul be as dust to all, open my heart to your Torah. What's the connection of these two prayers? Let my soul be as dust to all. Humility. People step on dust. You're humble. Then we say, God, open my heart to your Torah. What's the connection of these two prayers? These two requests? When one is arrogant, he is not a vessel to receive godliness. He's limited in the human level of understanding, very finite. When you're full of yourself, you cannot receive. You're full of yourself, you can't receive something so much greater than you. As I heard from Ablevel Wolf, a story of someone went to his master to teach him new secrets. And he said, I do this, and he started speaking about himself very boastfully. And the rabbi, and the master, whoever it was, poured him a cup of tea. And he kept on pouring, and the tea overfilled. He said, you're spilling. My cup is already full. So the master responded, I know your cup is very full. When you're full of yourself and your ego, and you don't have true humility, you're not a vessel to receive Torah. When you study Torah, you have to come completely with any preconceived notions and just say how lucky I am to study God's knowledge and connect with Him. And if you're humble and empty, you can receive so much. So you have to let go of the ego in order to, and feel how lucky we are, in order to be a receptacle to receive God's Torah. That's why it says that the Jews, before they received the Torah, they said to God, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and then we will understand. And that's a commitment that you need. You need to have a certain level of bittul, humility. We will do whatever you want, God Almighty. We'll try to understand later, meaning if we'll be lucky. But if you don't have that commitment, you're never going to get there because you don't have that humility. I ask many people to put on tefillin or to do any other mitzvah. And they say, we're not feeling it yet. And the answer I tell them from the Rebbe's beautiful letters, you're never going to feel it. If you have humility and you do it because God wanted, then you will start feeling and understanding and perceiving. So this is the amazing marriage of Shavuot, the commitment to God. That's why we have an interesting custom on the night before Shavuos. We stay up a whole night to prepare. What do? There's a beautiful booklet. You could find it on Chabad.org in English. We read parts of the Torah. We read the beginning and the end of all portions of the Torah. We read the beginning and the end of all the Tanakh. The beginning and the end of every Mishnah. And then we read all the 613 mitzvahs. Not too intellectual. It's just reading parts and letters of the Torah. Why don't we have a deep, analytical, deep discussion? Because the preparation for Shavuos is the holiness of the letters of the Torah. It's not the understanding, but this allows us that throughout the year we'll be able to understand and perceive the greatness of the Torah. So this is the preparation for Shavuos, to receive the Torah from God. I want to conclude with another beautiful Mishnah, which we're going to read this coming Shabbat. Fascinating Mishnah. The Mishnah tells us in the 6th chapter of Pirkei Avot, Rabbi Meir says, whoever learns Torah for the right reasons, he gets many gifts from God. The whole world was created for him. He loves God. He loves people. He makes God happy. He makes people happy. He is humble. And he doesn't sin. And many people get counsel from him. The question is, the $1 million question. The Rebbe asks, if you're learning Torah to connect to God, why do you need presents? If you learn Torah, you will get tremendous gifts from God. You're learning it not for, you're holding at the highest level. You're holding at the level of Abraham, who loved me. You're loving God just because He's God and you're so lucky to have a connection with Him. Why do we need these goodies on the side? Someone who's learning Torah to get benefit, he's at the beginning of the ladder. The Rambam says when you start with kids, you tell them learn, so you'll get a prize. And as they get older, the prizes get bigger. And then eventually the child will grow up to learn Torah Lishma just like Abraham, just because he loves God. So the question is, why is the Mishnah telling him that if you learn Torah for the right reason, you get all these other goodies? And the answer is as follows. There's a beautiful Talmud in Yevamot. The Talmud says that if someone says, I only study Torah, I don't care about changing the world. I have one thing in mind, I study, study, and study. Says the Talmud, you're missing the boat, and even the Torah you don't have. Because you're just learning it to aggrandize your ego. So you're separating from God. You're missing the boat. There's a God who wants you to change the world. It's not enough just to do what you like. Then you're serving yourself. Like it says in the beginning of Pirkei Avot, the world was created on 3 pillars: Torah, study, avodah, prayer, and gemilas chasodim, acts of kindness. You want to do what I wanted, why I put you down on this planet Earth? It's not enough just to be in a cocoon and study. I want you to change the world. I want you to make other people smile. I want you to help people. You got to study, but you need everything. So this person who's wanting to study Torah to connect to God has a fear. He says, if I study Torah day and night, I won't be fulfilling God's mission on planet Earth. I won't be changing the world. I'll be engulfed in the Torah study. So the Mishnah comes to comfort him and says, listen, when you study Torah, it has the properties and the medicine to make you, it enables you to change the world. If you don't study the Torah, you're too coarse. You can't change the world. You can't affect others. If you want to change the world and give them proper advice and help people, study the Torah, because this is what gives you the strength to change the world. That's why there's a very interesting halacha. By the reading of the Shema, the recitation of the Shema, that if you think it for hours on end, you didn't do the mitzvah. Because you're on your cocoon. You have to bring the light of God down to this world. God has enough angels. So therefore it's important that you utter with your physical lips the words, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. It's also brought down, we're talking about studying of Torah, that if you do not say the words, you don't do the mitzvah of study Torah. You're thinking, God bless you. It's very good for your soul to meditate on the words of Torah, but you didn't bring the light of God to this physical world. You didn't use your physical lips. So you didn't do the mitzvah of Torah study. That's fascinating. I will just conclude. As we are talking about the holiday of Shavuot changing us and becoming committed to God in His Torah, renewing the vows, I remember it was the Shabbat after Shavuos, Pashas Nosoi, Tovshin Mem 85, and the Rebbe was talking, and the Rebbe said one line that will forever stay with me. He said, if you want to see if Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot, changed you, there's a very simple indication. What doesn't let you fall asleep at night? Are you worried about something physical and trivial? Or are you worried that you don't understand what you studied, the Rambam or Rashi? There's something that's difficult for you to understand. So may God bless us all, that in the preparation for Shavuot, which is very, very special, we should make proper resolutions to become changed people, converted people, committed to God. It's also brought down, and I will finish with this, what says in Hayoim Yoim in the Rebbe's book, a saying for every day. It says, when God gave the Torah to his nation, the Satan wanted to stop this event. He didn't like it. It wasn't good for his business. So God confused the Satan. He said, go here, go there. It's in this world. I'm giving it to them on Mars and Jupiter. He sent them around for a goose chase. Says the Rebbe that God sends the Satan away on a goose chase every year. And if in the days that lead up to Shavuos, you make proper resolutions to commit to God in the Torah, he won't let the Satan stop you, and your commitments will stick. God bless you all with a happy and healthy Shavuos. And may we, with the power of this coming Shavuos, change the world like we just studied, and merit the ultimate coming of Moshiach. Thanks to our study and toil in this world, may it be good for everybody. A happy Shavuot.